All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99, all boxing, everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, y'all, I just wanted to come back on here and talk about this fight this past Saturday because I just got a chance to watch it a few days ago. Been out of town, just taking care of business. Jaime Munguia versus Sergiy Derevyanchenko. All right, y'all, so Jaime Munguia got what he needed, a real test, but did he deserve the victory? I don't know. Now, I watched the fight a couple of times. I looked at a few of the rounds, and in my opinion, the fight was close. It was competitive, but at the same time, I can definitely see where a lot of people are coming from, where Sergey Derevyanchenko won this fight. I think that he had a better game plan, and he also exposed a lot of the holes that we've been seeing in a guy like Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia, he's one of those come forward type of face first boxers, fighters. He can just go in there and dish it out. But if he's dealing with a boxer that's strong and has good head movement and can back him up, that's where the problems come in. Jaime Munguia in this fight, he seemed to have a little bit of trouble when a guy could hit back. When a guy can bite back and push you back and actually get into your range and smother you, that's where Jaime Munguia really started to suffer in this fight. I think that it got competitive at times when Derevyanchenko, he took a few rounds off. There was a little bit of back and forth, I'd say, like the first half of the fight. Like the first round, I think Derevyanchenko was already setting that pace. He was bouncing around. He was bouncing in and out of range. Munguia, he's used to that mid-range where he can really just like get his snapping punches off, those power punches and kind of walk you back. But if you're kind of out of range, he has trouble like stepping forward. He has trouble kind of like taking those steps forward to catch up to you. So if you're far out of range, you can box him. Or if you're completely on the inside, you can kind of smother his reach because he doesn't, Munguia to me doesn't have the best uppercuts. I think he has some good left hooks, but he doesn't really have the best uppercuts to kind of dig to the body and like get that respect. So, Derevyanchenko, that's where he was having success on the inside and on the outside. Those early rounds, he was doing a good job of like stepping in and just kind of lunging with the left hook and even snapping Jaime Munguia's head back. And then he would dig to the body. He'd come over the top with the overhand right and crack Munguia, right square in the jaw because his hands were low. He was just doing these nice little things, just bouncing around. And when Munguia would try to let go at mid-range, he had that upper body control, where he would just, dip the head, move in and out. Then he would step out of range. And again, Jaime Munguia couldn't find him. So I think the first half of the fight was a little back and forth. I would probably say it was close, like 3-3, or you could probably say like you probably say 3-3 in the first half of the fight, or maybe 4-2 for Derevyanchenko. Because I know Sergey Derevyanchenko did hurt Munguia. I think it was like the second or third round. He cracked him and he had him going back. He hit him with a good right hand and he sent him reeling back a few times. Munguia did come back himself and land, I believe it was like a uppercut or left hook on Derevyanchenko, like on the inside. And Derevyanchenko had to take a round off. And there were a couple of rounds where Munguia would just kind of outland him with his jab and just keep, touching him and keep touching him. But those mid rounds, man, Derevyanchenko, he was just, to me, clearly outboxing Munguia. He was just doing the better work and, letting off the better combinations, where Munguia, he was having to reach a lot and, really just kind of force that type of fight. But when Derevyanchenko would just crowd him against the ropes, Jaime Munguia didn't really have an answer for that. Towards the later part of the fight, I would say maybe like 9, 10, 11. That's where it started going Sergey's in Sergey's favor. The pace started to go his way. And even around 11, Derevyanchenko was taking heavy shots, so you could see it was kind of wearing on him. He is like 37 years old now. So, the legs, they started to wear down. And once he started to slow down, that's where Munguia started to have more success. And Munguia, going into round 12, knew he needed that finish, and he was able to drop. He was able to drop Sergey, and I believe that's where the judge said, okay, now we can lock in this fight for him, right? First time I watched the fight, I thought it was 6-6, giving Munguia the fight because I had 6 rounds of 6, and of course that knockdown would give him that edge, to avoid the draw. But the second time, just looking at some of the rounds, I can see where Sergey Derevyanchenko, could have won the fight. I think that there was a lot of mid rounds where he was just doing the better work and, just outlanding Munguia. And again, like those, I was impressed with those like leaping left hands like he would do to get in the range and just snap Munguia's head back every time. Like Munguia never made the adjustments to like keep his hands up. Like every time he would step in, he would drop the hands, and Derevyanchenko would kind of catch him on that blind side, on his right side, and just step in and throw this like left hook / jab, and it would just snap his head back every time. That or the overhand right would land with ease. So moving forward, Munguia, he's really going to have to tighten up on his defense now, and really learn how to fight backwards. And I think just kind of start to incorporate more of an uppercut whenever guys start to crowd him. Because even like Sebastian Fundora, for an up-and-comer, like I thought he was a pretty decent guy, pretty decent inside guy, for what he was bringing, on the level he was on. Like, Fundora, he at least had a good uppercut whenever guys tried to smother him and bully him. Munguia, this is that first competition, first real competition he's had. And you could arguably say, like I said, Derevyanchenko won the fight, but all around it was a good fight, though. I enjoyed it. The decision, okay, could have went to Sergiy, but you could see where Sergiy kind of went down in the later rounds, okay, and then there was a knockdown. But to me, I enjoyed the fight. Moving forward from here, right now, I think Jaime Munguia, he's got to stay away from, Jamal Charlo or any of the Charlos. If he was to move up to 168, I believe Benavidez would beat him. Honestly, I think Caleb Plant could easily outbox him. I think that, he doesn't really bring that type of offense that really breaks guys physically. He can hit hard, but sometimes he has trouble putting them together. Like if he can't get you into a corner, he can't really put it together like that, and he doesn't really have that physical strength that's really taxing like, some of these other big super middleweights and these other big guys that know how to throw their weight around. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good fight, guys. Definitely check this one out because it kind of went under the radar. I was watching UFC 289 this weekend, and, I checked out the Teofimo fight, which I'll probably talk about again in another video, the Teofimo-Taylor fight. But, yeah, definitely check this one out, y'all. If y'all missed it, Combo Breaker 99, all boxing, everything. Subscribe. Peace.